Welcome to our Prowall portal where you're going to want to create your own account. It's a free account to have access to our products in a wall system that you're building out on your specific project. So first thing is first, prowall.h-b.com is the website you're going to want to go to in your browser. You're going to want to create your own account. I already have my account created, so let's log in here and see what this is going to look like on your end. When you pull in here, you're going to have all of these training videos to the right here. It's also got some language we're continually updating the software, so you're going to see some of the newer stuff come out over here. But where I want you to see is over here on the right, there's this add a new project, which is where you're going to want to go and create what you've got that you're working on. I'm just going to create the sunshine house, and I'm going to use myself as the owner, and I'm going to leave these things blank. You can fill them in. I'm going to just create a address here. It's important that you do put in your city, state, and zip code, just because it's going to help us know where you're at and designing in that way. So you can pick here, are you less than 60 foot? Are you greater than 60 foot? I'm just going to choose less than 60 foot. You'll want to know your max wind velocity. And truthfully, I need to go look up what Nebraska's is. So you're just going to give me some grace there. But I'm going to choose the 2018 IBC building code. And I'm going to choose our seismic category. Those parameters are going to come into play when they tell us which products are acceptable to use in these conditions. So I'm going to save these changes. And now I'm going to be able to find that down here in my project. So you can have as many projects as you need to open, and you can open them up and edit them at any time. We're going to go into that new project we just created. The parameters for which I told them that we're designing to is over here. And it gives me this chance to, if I go to wall compatibility, I can start by building out my wall system. I'm going to just label this wall a cavity wall, and I'm going to start with a template. You can choose to start this from scratch, but I think it's easiest to just start with a template. You can pick, are you building with a block backup? Are you building with a steel stud? Let's just go ahead and do that with a CMU, and we're going to use that attached here. And what it's going to give us are the different layers in a wall system that you should be thinking about when you're designing with a block backup and brick veneer. So it's going to tell me I've got an 8-inch here. I can change this to 6-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, whatever you want. I've got an air barrier membrane here. I've got insulation. I can change that to 1-inch, 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch. Let's just for fun choose that as a 4-inch. And let's move to a 2-inch airspace because I like that best. And we're going to keep this standard brick size, but you can change this brick size, or you can change it to block, or you can change it to stone, whatever you want to put here. You also get to pick your veneer spacing, and if you're doing a stack bond, you can just simply check this box. We're going to uncheck that because we're doing a standard running bond. And now you're ready to start building out this wall. So what you've got here is the ability to go to veneers and ties, and I'm going to choose a multi-wide joint reinforcing system because I've got my block backup. I'm going to want reinforcement in the wall, and I'm gonna attach my anchors for my veneer into that system, so it's a one-time thing. And it's gonna give me here the options that are acceptable for my building code and my wall makeup. If I go change any of these parameters, let's say I go down to 2 inches of insulation, that may change what I am given is acceptable for over here. It doesn't with that, but it can. And so just know all of these things that you're putting in here will account for any of your changes. So again, I'm just going to choose this double loop lock, and I can choose if I'm going to use a standard gauge, heavy gauge, or super heavy gauge, but green is what I'm looking for. So with my wall system, I'm going to need this super heavy. It tells me I can choose my different backup widths, but it already chose the 8 inches for me, and I'm wanting it in stainless steel. It's going to let me choose my Binalock tie, but it only gives me the options that are acceptable for the veneer width that I gave. So I'm going to pick those. Those are the two things it tells me I need with that system that I just selected. And I'm going to add that to my wall. Next, I'm going to go up to this air barrier because I need one of those membranes. I'm going to shut this and I'm going to scroll to my air barrier systems. And I'm going to choose the vapor permeable. And it asks me what size of unit I want. I'm going to use the 5 gallons, and I'm going to make sure that I have the primer, and I'm going to want to use the liquid flash because I like that best rather than worrying about the tapes and the seals and all those different things. It's just easiest that way. So I'm going to choose some sealant in there too because I know I'm going to need that in some spaces, and I'm going to add this to my wall. I'm going to choose my flashing. We love using the Mighty Flash. Actually, I'm going to go and choose the Where's my Mighty Flash? Self-adhering. That's what I'm going to use. Our Masons really like that best. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I can choose my width roll of the flashing. I'm going to use a 12-inch here. I'm going to pick my sealant. I'm going to pick my drip edge. I'm going to pick a term bar, and I'm going to go add this to my wall. I could come in here and choose a bunch of different products for my backup wall, but I'm just going to leave that here with what I've got, which is my joint reinforcement, my anchors, my air barrier, and my flashing. And I'm going to go over here to project reports. Going to pop up my disclaimer again, and it's going to give me a list of different reports that I can run now. One of the things I think we're most concerned about is our compatibility, so I can check this box. I can get my submittal sheets done. I can get my safety data sheets. I can choose to get my lead reports. I can choose or unchoose as many of these as I want, but I want to show you what this looks like. We download this PDF based on the reports that you want to see. And we'll let this load. It'll pop up down here as a PDF. And so I'll open that. And it gives me this certificate of compatibility. It gives me all of the products, telling me that they work together. It gives me my submittals. It gives me my lead documents. This is a really, really handy tool. So I can run those. But my favorite part of how I think that you can most use this is by going to this product specification text report. When I click on this HTML page, it brings me to a place where I can copy and paste the spec language for the products that I just chose for my wall system, so that you're not having to recreate these things, that you can update your master specification with these, or you can look at these for project specific and making sure that you're getting the products on your project that you want. I think some of the time we start to have these master specs that list stainless steel, flexible flashing, copper flashing, asphalt-based peel and sticks, EPDMs, and we give all of these options because they're all acceptable flashing options that you've done in the past, and but now we're leaving it up to the contractor to decide what they want to use, when in reality we need to take some of this back over into our hands so that we can start to say, okay, I'm using spray foam, so I need to make sure that I'm using flexible stainless steel flashing so that I don't melt my flashing in the wall, and I need to choose this air barrier because I need to make sure that the flashing and the air barriers that I have aren't going to be a compatibility issue. So being able to call out your systems and what you want, and having the help with this Prowall tool at your hands is really going to come and almost help you, just give you confidence back that you know what you're doing without having to know our product line inside and out. So that's just a little rundown of what you can do in your Prowall portal, and I invite you to check it out, start building your projects and getting your compatibility reports, tasking your contractors to use it for their submittals, and then using this for your specification language when needed.